Hi everyone, every pony, welcome back to part 8 of chapter 2. I'm sorry again for the late uploads, it's just that it's taken me a while, but I'm going to do something that will fix my phone and give me some space. Lots and lots of space. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of good times. That's right. Yum yum. Anyway, quick shout outs again to Darkfire Pony 3, Tempest Berry Twist, of course, Vinyl is Best Pony, and Forsaken Paladin 616 for subscribing, thank you very much, and also commenting, thank you. And of course, Princess Moonbutt. And also, of course, Forrest McGilvray, who is reading the story. The original story is by Xenopony. And without further ado, let's begin.
Twilight stated, both her voice and the fact that she dropped a book down on the table beside Starlight, almost making the unicorn jump right out of her skin. At least, I think it's similar. It's a charter of one of the first skyship trades from before even Celestia and Luna came to power. Ooh, that's wonderful, Twilight. Starlight responded, pressing a hoof to her chest.
And I'm sorry, I forgot to also mention, I'm wearing my Season 1 pony shirt. I thought it would be just cool for the symmetrical thing or whatever, but again, thank you so much guys for subscribing and all of that. I really do appreciate it, and also for the comments. Oh, whoa, what the heck? Something hit me in the face. But yeah, I got this shirt when I first started watching it actually, and I think it's several years back, but I remember when it kind of started coming out and gave it a shot, and I was like, it's like watching Powerpuff Girls. If you ever watch Powerpuff Girls on Cartoon Network, I mean, you know, there's just there's too much drama out there, and nowadays it's can't really confidently go out and wear your shirt. But I wish for you to wear your shirt very loud and proud, but for me, I just don't really do it because I don't want people starting drama. I mean, it's not, for me it's sad. It's because, you know, people think I do nothing but sit at home and watch something all day, when I don't. I'm a manager. I'm a manager over at Taco Bell. So, no.
She slowed her frightened breath and collected herself. Twilight just nodded and buried her face in the book. Spike jumped from her back and took a seat on the table between the two ponies. Funny, I thought it would have taken longer, he said, sounding a little bit dissatisfied. Well, what can you expect from Equestria's #1 assistant? Starlight asked, hiding her anxiety with a small laugh.
#1.
Don't you know? The baby dragon responded, leaning against Starlight's shoulder with one claw as he inspected the other. Of course, Spike, Twilight added, with only a small portion of her attention. Well, according to this, the only trade route that went right over the Everfree Forest was the Central Equestrian Airway. But this is over 1,000 years old, so I have no idea how much that could have changed since then. Twilight seemed to be mumbling the explanation more to herself than any pony else. I'd be surprised if it hadn't, Starlight responded, closing her own book as she added, Can you make it out anywhere they may have come from? Twilight cocked her head as she thought, rubbing a forehoof under her chin. Given the way the ship was facing, I'd say somewhere from the southeast. Yet, I have no idea, really. One thing I do know is that skyjacks are usually willing to transport anything for the right price, no matter what it was or what their employer would do with it. Starlight opened her muzzle to respond, yet a great flash of lightning and a booming rumble of thunder cut her off, not to mention put a stop to Spike's confident display as the dragon leaped up onto Starlight's back like some kind of terrified kitten. The sharp touch of his claws made the unicorn wince, but no quicker did she feel the pain was she jumping to her own hooves and backpedaling from the table. From the holes in the ceiling, rain began to shimmer and dance as the wind picked up. It began hitting the table with a light series of pitter-patters, and the wet disturbance was enough to shake Twilight free of her research.
Much like what Darkfire Pony 3 said, here we go again. And we mean that literally.
Looking up, she closed her book in an effort to defend it from the water's assault. On second thought, maybe it's better if we read in there with the others, she suggested, nodding to the chamber in which her friends were sat. Yeah, that sounds good, Spike added, eyes fixed on the storm as he shivered. Trotting toward the room, however, it was hard to hide the fact that there was little difference between the storm outside and the cold darkness within the castle. That freezing feeling of dread only grew as they entered the room and caught a glimpse of the glow that emanated from the center. The blue light flickered and pulsed with far more ferocity than it had ever done previously, as if the attention
like a Super
and
Saiyan
presence
egg.
of others was
Ah!
awakening
No.
whatever was inside from its stillness. The image of the ship's wrecked interior passed through Starlight's mind again, and she gulped, taking a seat furthest away from the thing as Twilight settled down with her new book just beside her. The orb gave another heavy shudder, and Fluttershy raised her head, studying the thing's actions with a knowledge and understanding gathered over many years of seeing other creatures do the same. Pinkie Pie leaped up in anticipation, pausing in midair, then fell to the ground moments later, as the orb did little more than twitch and shudder. She looked at Fluttershy, and the yellow Pegasus gave a soft little laugh. "You can't rush these things, Pinkie. It'll hatch when it's ready." Fluttershy.
Oh yeah.
I know. It's just so exciting.
And when it's
You're
ready,
excited? Because I'm so excited. Pinkie exclaimed eagerly.
I'm not so
"Yeah,
excited.
Pinkie, we're all very excited to meet our new friend, but if you keep bouncing around, you're gonna smash the thing
He's
before he
not
even
a
gets a chance to do anything."
What'd they
Rainbow
name him?
responded reasonably, despite the tiredness in her dry tone.
What did Pinkie
Rainbow's
name
right,
it?
Sugar Cube. And I think the last thing it needs is some pony jumping around, making loads of noise. Applejack added, resulting in a reluctantly appreciative nod from
That's
Fluttershy. Clearly, the yellow Pegasus didn't quite have it in her to quell her friend's excitement, while not holding back her own with a sensible mask of clarity. Nevertheless, Pinkie sat back, making a motion as if zipping her mouth shut, as her eyes once again became fixed on the restless sphere.
Sorry about that.
Applejack leaned back and sat down beside Rarity, who was still doing her best to hide her concern by distracting herself with the state of her raincoat. The same could not be said for Starlight as she watched
bite my
the
nails when
flickering
I'm
light
nervous.
grow ever more violent within the shimmering shell. She could feel Spike peer up over her head tentatively. Then there was a small crack. Every pony stood up sharply. Even Twilight was torn from her book by the sound as the orb shifted and gave another small sound. Starlight felt her heart begin to race and her skin crawl as it moved again, and every pony other than Fluttershy and Pinkie looked at one another. Rarity even went as far as taking a wary step back. Fluttershy glanced up at her friends, and Pinkie Pie looked directly down at the orb as a small split broke open across the top. The pink pony mumbled something from behind her sealed lips, as the crack grew like a spider's web across the black shell and the blue glow surged brightly. Then it flickered out and died. Fluttershy's eyes widened in alarm, and she crouched down to peer into the inside of the sphere as it went dark. Then there was another shudder, and the thing's whole top cracked open with a firm shake. It all happened in an instant. The top.
You guys remember the phrase of those words? It all happened in an instant. Like I said, you know what happens in a second? A lot of dead.
But the thing exploded in a shower of small shell fragments and a vicious black slime. Fluttershy scurried back along the floor in surprise, her legs kicking in the dust as she did so. Meanwhile, the surge of black liquid struck Pinkie right in the face. There was a steaming hiss, and an intensely pungent smell filled the room as the pink pony let out a painful scream. Her self-imposed silence broken, Pinkie's mouth tore open through the sticky black mass before the ever-bubbling slime forced her face to contort. The goo flooded back across her coat with ravenous hunger, silencing her yet again. Several more splashes of the stuff struck her legs, and in an instant they began to twist the flesh into repugnant black growths and swollen blisters. Every pony rushed forwards in alarm, only to be forced back as Pinkie kicked and bucked with muffled cries of terrified.
Ah! Don't
Applejack
do
moved to
that!
grip her hind hooves, but received a frantic kick to the
You can't do that. No, no. You can't do that to me. Not Pinky. No! You can't do that to me. Not again. I swear, you should have seen my reaction the first time I heard it. I was screaming my head off. I was like, just run. Just get the hell out of there.
For her efforts. Rainbow Dash darted
Time
to
to
grab
leave.
from overhead, but was caught dodging more of the black slime
Gosh.
as it was flung about the room by Pinky's frantic thrashing. Even the magic of telekinesis failed to do anything more than force every unicorn in the room to wince in pain as the black substance turned their magic into a foul, dark aura. The pool of solidifying black goo around the shattered sphere didn't help as it crawled its way out across the floor. In her panicked flurry, Pinkie Pie frantically spun through it, and yet more of the stuff latched onto her hooves.
No!
Then the mass upon her face
No!
began to twinge and
No!
convulse as it tightened. Bubbling blisters began to sprout
can't
from the
do
twisting
that to
dark
me.
mass as it spread down her
do
neck
that to me.
and over her ears, fusing them
I don't like
back
it
into
when
her
the
skull.
ponies just
Forced
get
back
hurt. I
to the
don't-
very
I-
edge of the room.
That's what's so
no
exciting
pony
about
could
horse
do
stories.
anything as Pinkie
sorry.
Pie gave one last muffled scream, her throat gargling as if it were filled with liquid. Then there was an ear-splitting crunch, and Pinkie shuddered violently, her body sagging for a short moment. Every pony felt a deep dread as their afflicted friend stood there, swaying like a ghostly statue for a long moment. Finally, as they dared place their hooves forward, Pinkie Pie reared up and blindly bolted from the room as fast
What?
as her grotesquely twisting limbs would carry her.
What is that? What is that thing? I to this day still don't know what that thing is. Ah! You can't do that to me. And that's the end of chapter 2. We'll begin chapter 3 here after this, but you can't do that to me. For real. It's only just begun. You can't. What is that? It can't be even affected by magic. What is that? Man, imagine cooking an egg making an omelet out of that bitch. That bitch is gonna make an omelet out of you. Anyway, but I want to give another thanks to Darkfire Pony 3, Tempest Berry Twist, Lionel's Best Pony, Forsaken Paladin, Princess Moonbutt, and Forrest McGilvray, of course, for reading the story, and actually created by a Casino Pony. I thank you guys so much for watching the reaction videos. I really like your comments, and thank you guys so much. It really means a lot to me that you're commenting, because I rarely ever get comments. And I really get anybody to watch any of my other videos. If you can watch my other videos and also like those, that'd be awesome, for real, because I do a lot of playthroughs on different games, mainly combat. But without further ado, I thank you guys so much for joining me for part 8, chapter 2, and that is the end of chapter 2. We'll begin chapter 3 next. Thank you guys so much. Honey Gamer Pony. I'll see you next time.